Welcome back to another episode of On a Mission. I'm your host, Dr. Wendy Norfleet with Norfleet Integrated Solutions, and it's my pleasure to have with me Aida Seeraj with Inspire to Rise Incorporated. Welcome, Aida.
Thank you for having me, Wendy.
So, Aida, most founders and presidents, they have a personal story why they started the organization. So tell us a little bit about you and what motivated you to start Inspire to Rise.
Absolutely. So Inspired Rise, let me start. I have 24 years in child welfare. And when I hit my 20th year, you kind of, at least I did, went through kind of a spiritual journey of what's next for me.
Right. I've gone through a couple of those.
Yes, it was on my 20th year. And so I actually sought the advice of some amazing women that have been in my life, from Audrey Moran to Cindy Funkhauser, to Nancy Dreiser, and even my spiritual leaders to kind of see if they could help. Of course, no one had the answer. And when I went to Audrey, she was really, she's always been in this positive light of mentoring. She said, there's this women's conference coming up. It's called Gen W. It's amazing. She even paid for the ticket, and I went. During the conference, this one speaker said, that really moved me. She said, if you do your passion and you do it with your family, it's no longer work. It's part of who you are.
Yeah.
And that spoke to me. And I'm married to my high school sweetheart. We have 3 amazing kids. And all I describe it as is a spiritual experience. During that moment on April 13, 2018. I was at the conference and it was clear. I wanted to create my own company. I love to inspire others and really help transform their lives, and not only participants, but also, staff, and having been in a child welfare field, from investigation all the way to, I ran a foster care agency for 7.5 years, I saw a transformation of people. And so when I was kind of doing self-reflection during the conference, I was like, I want to call it Inspire Rise. I want the mission statement to be to inspire and empower individuals to rise, overcome, and shine through their most challenging moments to become their best self. It literally flowed.
Oh, wow.
By the end of the conference, I focused on both my personal and my professional life and career of what does that mean? What does that impact mean? And I really wanted to focus on 5 components: community behavioral health, that's psychiatric and therapeutic, which is kind of the traditional way of going to get services or help when someone's in crisis. Substance abuse treatment for those struggling with substance abuse, and intervention services, community education, those individuals that have been separated from their children, having visitation services, or parenting education for us parents, that have the struggle with the challenge of being a parent, life skills that is not taught anymore.
Oh, isn't that crazy? I know. It's like, how do you expect them to be adults when you don't teach them anything about how to survive? You teach book knowledge, but
exactly,
you need some street smart stuff.
Exactly. So that life skills. And then I want it to be a place that anyone can say, I need help, whether it's a participant that is kind of your traditional that gets a report called in, or those that are like us, professionals that all of us need help at one time or another. I always say all of us carry a cross, and who is around us and supports us during that journey. So being a resource center, being that getting help from us or one of our partners. And then the third component, I included the arts, because I saw the impact that it had on my own family. And my husband, he's a CFO by trade, but he does art, acrylics and, artwork. My son, who struggles with ADHD, when he draws, it's his zen. So just any type of art, or for instance, we have a community garden. We've partnered with Tamika School of Epicure that does cooking classes.
Oh, yes. One of my clients partnered with them for an event. It was really nice.
Yes, they're amazing, but they're my partner. And so that shows not only life skills, but also an art of culinary.
Right.
And then the last component is I believe that the power of one person really can help transform somebody's life. And so with Inspire to Rise, we we have the peer community services program. And so really someone that's navigated that journey of mental health and substance abuse and
successfully,
recovery.
then they come back and mentor others.
Absolutely.
Because some people learn more from someone who's already been in their shoes.
Absolutely.
Yeah, because it's kind of hard. I've heard a couple of people tell me that it's really hard to take advice or be mentored to by somebody who's never suffered.
Exactly.
And of course, I think everyone has probably suffered to some degree, but not suffered to the degree they have.
Exactly. And for those reasons, actually, I always say it's my personal story, because I probably have used, my family has used many of the services. When we adopted our second child, he had a lot of trauma. He was substance exposed at birth. We adopted through foster care, and that journey of helping him and getting the diagnosis, the right assistance to help him go through, he would self-harm and just really, it was a really difficult time for us.
I think even if you don't have a child like that, my daughters are also adopted, and but there were some things that we just had to go through therapy and things like that just to get them, because they were from a situation that wasn't ideal.
Exactly. And so I always say, if no one should take 3.5 years to get a diagnosis on a little 18-month-old child that has gone through both trauma and substance abuse. And so our journey of helping our family, I said, what do other families go through, and focus on that primary prevention piece. And so Inspire to Rise was born out of these ideas.
So let me ask you something. Do you have a physical location?
Yes. We actually have now 3 locations.
Oh, wow.
Yes.
So what parts of town?
So West Side, Northwest Side, and Yulee.
Okay.
Yes.
Wow.
Yes. We started... the West Side is owned by us as a family. We purchased that as a family. We did a lot of the work ourselves. We started with just volunteers and my family, and now we have grown to a company of 38 staff.
Wow, congratulations.
Thank you.
Wow, and that little short, congratulations.
Yes, ma'am.
So thank you for sharing about the services and, your story. Thank you for sharing your personal story. But if someone wants to contact you or contact Inspire to Rise, how do they do that?
Absolutely. So there's multiple ways. One is our main line is 1-844 We Rise 1. Or it's 1-844-937-4731. We also have our website, www.weinspireToRise.org. And then our Facebook is We Inspire to Rise. Okay. So those are the different ways you can contact us and receive the services, or come to our community centers. Like I said, we have one on the west side on 5927 Old Timuquana Road, one on 2901 Commonwealth, and one at the Yulee Family Support Services Service Center.
Wow. Thank you, Ida, so much for sharing your story, telling us a little bit about your organization, and sharing the contact information. I really appreciate it.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for having me today.
You're welcome. Thank you for joining us today. And to learn more about Inspire to Rise, please go to inspiretorise.com, and we'll see you next time on Buzz TV.